Hello.
Oh, I'm logged in as you.
That's okay. That's okay. You look just like me. Oh my goodness. My fingers are frozen. I took her on a walk.
Oh, look at that. It's already recording.
Does it let you, doesn't care if you sew an envelope and it's got pictures on the side? That doesn't matter, does it? They don't care. Just making sure. Just making sure. Very cool. What did you just say? You're sending me a picture? You say you just sent me something? I just got a text message from you. Lauren Swenson. Just kidding. That's not you. You sent it to me a while ago and I just never looked at it. Good to remember. How do you know if you should add one stamp or two stamps to something?
How much does it weigh?
Does it weigh a lot? It's more like, see, but it's like thin, like not heavy.
Do you have like a, what is it, 71 or 72 cent stamp?
No, I would just have to use two regular cent stamps, which I got all my old Christmas stamps, so I might as well get rid of these ugly things. But two should be enough, shouldn't it?
Yeah, easily.
Oh, my goodness.
A regular envelope with 4 pieces of paper you can send with 1 stamp.
That's going to be. In today's day and age, if they don't deliver it, that's ridiculous. You know, my daily digest did not update last night.
Really?
I looked at Jared's, his did, so I don't know why mine did not.
There's Connie.
Good morning, Connie.
Good afternoon.
Morning, afternoon.
Hey, the day's October.
Oh, and we got Jerry coming. And Molly. Oh, Molly.
Is Pork Chop with you?
Yeah, 1 second. Hey, buddy, come here.
Nice. I'm gonna get to see my Pork Chop.
There he is.
Hi, Pork Chop. Hi.
Hey.
Oh, you're just so cute. Yes, yeah. Oh.
Miss
Oh,
Peach.
this is a funny thing. Hi, pork chop. Hi, pork chop.
Yeah, no, it's
We're going to teach you so much today, pork chop. You're going to be running the business for your mom.
all right. You can do all the work for me.
There you go.
Yeah, who's here?
No.
Owen.
Hello. We be gone long?
Billy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Oh, hot dog. So now you're gonna have to hold him. She wants to see him. We're gonna just kind of hop in right away here. The class is kind of, I know we put it on here last minute, but it was based on yesterday talking with Jean. I think it was some of the things that some people aren't using or knowing about. So we want to we're going to start kind of trying to get some of it out sooner, I should say, instead of quicker, sooner than later, so that people can start using things and doing it. I know obviously everyone joins our Zoom calls, but as far as, have any of you guys held your own Zoom calls? Has anybody done their own Zoom? Perfect, because that's the purpose. So that's awesome. First of all, the Zoom that we use as a market center is a paid account, but you can get Zoom for free. So you literally want to add your own Zoom account if you don't have one, and you can just go to, it's just zoom.com if I'm correct, right, Lauren? Isn't that how we did it?
Let's take a look. It is Zoom. Hold the phone. Let me log out and make sure it's the right one.
Yeah. So, because what'll happen is, when you,
Zoom.us.
pardon me?
Zoom.us.
Zoom.us, zoom.us. So when you do your Zoom account, like I said, don't fall to where you think you have to do a paid one, because the only reason we do a paid account is there's more than, say, just myself and one of you. So in order to have, it's 3 or more people on Zoom and extend past 40 minutes is why we do the paid account. So if you're going to be doing it with just yourself and one team member, or yourself and a client, and it's going to go for, an hour and a half, great, not a problem. You can use free Zoom. If it's you and your team and you're going to stay under 40 minutes, again, you could do Zoom for just you or the free Zoom for just yourself and your team under 40 minutes. When you hit the 40-minute mark, if it's not a paid account and there's more than the 2 parties on there, you'll get actually it's when you hit 30 minutes, you'll get a little timer that will say up on the top, counting down 10 minutes, and then it'll just start to count down, letting you know that your Zoom will end in, at the 40-minute mark. If, let's just say it is your team, but you still don't want to pay for a Zoom account, which I totally get, but you're thinking you're going to need to go for an hour or a little bit longer, literally when it hits the 40-minute, the Zoom will go black. You can actually have your people just quickly click again to go back into that exact same link you used the first time, and it'll take you right back in and give you another 40 minutes.
Yep.
So there are workarounds so that you're not technically paying. Obviously, the only time you're not going to want to do that is if it's with a client, because you're not going to want to say, hey, I didn't do the free or the paid account. Would you quickly just, when we get hung up on, click back in? But other than that, you can use the free account, and I do recommend it. We use it for all of our family things. I've used it for some of the trainings when I do them with the other MCAs, and then I just have them log back in as if it clicks us out, but we normally try to just keep it to 40 minutes. So just go to that zoom.us to get your account, and you can set that up so that you can use it. When you share those links and you set them up, same thing as far as kind of what we're doing with you. You'll go in, and when you go into your Zoom account, I am going to share my screen with you to show you here really quick, and I'm going to go into a dummy one, so bear with me. I just have to exit full screen here. Hit share, and then why does that have to be? I'm just going to kind of pull this down here because it's in my way. Sorry. All right, I'm going to log into my other Zoom, so I'll log into my personal one here. Can you guys see that right now? Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my, I got to quickly, hold on, I'm going to log in. So basically you go in like you do on anything else. I'm just going to log into my personal one. So when you log in, you usually will come up into this screen, but up here is your schedule a meeting. So that's where you're going to go anytime you want to schedule a new meeting. So I'm just going to schedule a meeting. And you can call it whatever you want. So we'll just do Zoom check-in. If you want to put a meeting description in there, you can. And then you go down, it's just like using your calendar. You're going to pick, I'll say it's for Friday at 1 o'clock. Now again, this is the free Zoom that I'm in right now. So it does let you choose a duration longer than an hour, but it's going to cut you off at that 40 minutes. So just keeping that in mind.
If you have more than one other person.
Correct. If you wanted, so let's just say it is for a team meeting, or you wanted to, I guess I wouldn't recommend that with a client, but if it's for a team meeting, or if it's for something that you're going to be doing recurring, you can click right here to hit recurring meeting. So you could do it every Friday. You could do it. It does open up when we hit on the recurring meeting where you can do choices. You can do daily, you can do weekly, monthly, no fixed time frame. And then it allows you to go in and kind of set it up. So if let's say your team does a meeting every Monday, or maybe they do it every Monday, Wednesday, you can go in and pick that and pick the time and how long you want that to last for. Then, excuse me, meeting ID, I would always leave it to generate automatically, just because it's just one less thing that your participant has to put into the meeting when they're logging in. You always want video host on and participant on would be my thought. That's going to allow you to have that face-to-face like we're doing right now and to see each other.
Do you want to mention something about the password?
Yes. Oh, I went right past it. Thank you. Require meeting password. They had said, I don't know if anybody saw that, but they said that there was people that were able to get into other Zooms when they were going on. So people were hearing like obscene conversations, or they were all of a sudden getting video while they were doing it. So what you could do is you could require the meeting password, which then is just going to have, whether it's one of your clients, whether it is, you doing it with your team, it takes them 2 seconds to pop in the meeting password. Again, because this is information you're going to send out to them. So if you wanted to leave that in there, that would have them going in and doing that, as well as you wouldn't have anybody else coming into that meeting.
And you can create your own password. It doesn't have to be the one they give you. So if you wanted to say like, my password is Team Hawkins. All right, simple enough. You're going to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Question for you. We did one this weekend just with family, but I had to let each of them in as they were in the waiting room. You may have checked that already. Oh, there you've got enable meeting room. Okay.
So yep, that's down here when we get down a little bit further. I'll just quickly pop up here and then we'll go on to that one, Bob.
All right. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're fine, because I know you couldn't see it. So then with video, again, you probably want your host and participant both on so that both can do the video chat, as well as audio. I always click both. That way, if they're using either their phone or their computer, they're able to access with you. And then meeting options. I do usually for like our team meetings or our classes like this, I will put the enable join before host, just so if like I'm running late from something different, people can get in and they're at least there and they can actually talk amongst themselves if they want. If you were doing something with your team, you could do that. If you're doing something with a client, I probably wouldn't recommend that. If you're, depending on who you're going to have, I would just have it be where they then come in with you. Mute participants upon entry. Again, that's great for things like yesterday with Jean Rivers. That's where we did have it set that way so that you don't have all that kind of clamoring of people as they're coming on and hearing all that. We do that for a lot of our regional events as well. Enable waiting room. That's what you were speaking to, Bob. So that waiting room, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, when I've had that on is when I've had to allow that participant in. So like at the bottom, you'll get or bottom or top, depending on where you've got your bar. you'll get a pop-up that will say, originally, it'll say like participant waiting, and then it'll pop up. If you wait long enough, it'll say Lauren, 1,
Yep.
Diane or Bob, 1.
Correct. So I typically never have that on, just because sometimes if I'm in the middle of a meeting and it'll make that noise and it'll pop up, or sometimes you just aren't
Don't see it.
looking at it and you don't see it at the bottom, and then someone's waiting for you to let them in. So I won't say 100% of the time, but I would say 99% of the time, I do not enable the waiting room. I know it is on there because when they used to not have, when people weren't using the password, it was a way to kind of monitor who you're letting in. This way, you can give your password out. You can do it if you want. I just recommend not doing it. It's
Yep.
one less step for you.
Like for me, for instance, let's just say that you're doing coaching with your team. I use this right now because I do some coaching with some of the MCAs right now. And so when I do it, I may say, okay, Lauren, you're at 1, Molly, you're at 1:30, Diane, you're at 2. Well, there's a good chance that one of us is going to be kind of running maybe a little bit over, and I don't want, for instance, Diane to pop in and hear what Molly and I are discussing, because we're doing coaching or whatever. So that's when I do leave my enable waiting room on, because at that point, then what I can do is I can be doing my coaching with Molly. As a reminder, I'm going to get the doorbell. If you heard it, I'm going to get the doorbell and I'm going to say, oh, that's right, it's 1:30 and I've got, now it's time for Diane. So at least I can say, okay, Molly, I know we were just talking about the fact that, you've been just doing this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We need to change this. Okay, great, I got to go. But at least that's nothing that the next person is hearing. They're just literally sitting there waiting for us, but they know that we're here. So then I can end my call with Molly, accept Diane into it, and now it'll be just Diane and I. So it gives you a little bit of ability to do that privacy if you don't want to have to keep logging out, logging in, logging out for those calls. If you just wanted to say, I'm setting up these hour and a half and I'm going to meet each person 15 minutes.
Yep.
So that is a nice feature to use when you're doing that. But yeah, for like your family ones, Bob, you have such a small family that it might get to be a bit much to continually be enabling to let somebody in.
And like all the classes that we hold, we don't mark enable waiting room,
Right.
just because it's one class. It starts at 1, and so you just hop
Yeah,
on.
no, that makes sense. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Now you will see with your paid version, your unpaid version, you do have record the meeting right here automatically on your local computer. So let's just say that it is something you want to be able to save and one of the participants couldn't make it, or you want to show it later. You can save it here on your local computer, just knowing that originally when we were doing the unpaid version, it does take up space pretty quick in basically, like in the computer where it's saving it. And so it doesn't take long before you'll get an email that will say, like you're getting close to your, I don't know, I think you're at 88% or something like that. So what's nice is you can, on the paid version, you can save it to the cloud, and then you can do like right now, Lauren then brings them over to the landing page, the events that we do. She puts them there and then she deletes them so that they're not taking up space anywhere as far as memory.
Got it.
But you can
And you could do that same with on your local computer. So what I do, if I've recorded a class on my personal one, then you can, like we were talking about, if you wanted to have a YouTube channel, I posted that on Facebook on how to create that. But you have it saved to your local computer, that video, you can put it on your YouTube channel, and that way you can delete it from your local computer, free up more space, and then it'll be in your YouTube channel.
Got it.
Awesome. And then at that point, once you've determined, what you do want down, sorry, I just grabbed my mouse from my other computer. I'm like, why is it not moving? Once you've determined, what you want in it, you're just going to hit your save.
Those of us who can stay home
And it's going to give you kind of almost just like when you do your calendar invites on your calendar, and I'm gonna have to, sorry, I'm gonna slide everybody over so I can see again, so I apologize. Okay, so, whoopsie. Once you get it set, you have a couple different options of what you can do at this point is, if you want, you can right away add to your Google Calendar by clicking here. And then it just kind of gives you the same thing if you're logged into your computer as how to put it on your Google Calendar, and you could share it from there. You
You just want to
could-
click on it just to show them.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would, and I probably should have, but, okay. So then I can go in, choose my calendar, say allow, so I'm giving Zoom access to my calendar, which don't be concerned about having them do that. And then, oh, it took my personal, but that's fine. And then at this point, it's just showing me where it was, so then I could put it on my calendar here. And then at that point, again, you can do like you normally do on your calendar, where you could add it in and decide, am I going to add, you know, participants to my, and I'm trying to see why it's doing, hold on 2 seconds.
View, so exit out of that. Go to Google Calendar.
Did I go into the wrong?
And now select week and change that to month. I just want to see if.
Yeah, I don't know why, and I apologize, I'm not sure why it went to this computer or to this calendar, because it normally doesn't. But I was setting it for the 15th, so I'm gonna just.
You did the 17th, but.
Thank you, on the 17th. Because it works, and so I apologize, because it works when I do it on my, normally when I'm in my work account or the work one and do it. I'm just,
Go over to your
I think you
your
have,
name. And switch your account to the work one.
there we go. Okay. So here it is. I've been adding it. Thank you. So it, I'm like, I know it should be going on there. So if I, let me see if I can move you guys again. Hold on. Okay. So when you click it onto your calendar and you're not doing like 20 different calendars, it will add to your calendar just like this. So
And
then
it'll have all the details. It will have the link right there for you.
right
It'll
here.
have the meeting invitation right there. And then from here, you could add your guests.
So at this point, I could say Diane Hawkins, Lauren, Molly. So I could just start typing in names and add them, and then when I hit save, it's going to
But
put it.
before you hit save, make sure you go over to the left, and where it says Hangout Meets, it usually
yes.
automatically adds the Google Hangouts. So X that out,
Yeah.
and now you can hit save.
Yeah. If you don't, and just so you know, if you don't click out of Google Hangouts, the biggest part is it's going to be confusion to the individual who receives it, because it's going to look like you want to do it on Google Hangouts, but you are still going to have your Zoom link. Everything will still go to them. So absolute worst case, if that ever happens, you can just notify them and say, I sent you a calendar invite for a Zoom meeting. You know, please disregard the Google Hangouts. We're going to do it through Zoom. And then you would just send this off to them or to whomever, and they'll receive it, accept it on their calendar, just like how you guys get them right now from the Daily Digest at night. Does anybody have any questions on that part so far? I'm gonna pop out of here and go back to,
No, I don't think so.
okay, so now we're back at that same, let's just say that you don't want to put it on your calendar, or you're not doing it that way. There is a couple other options that you can do. You can click, and apologize, I gotta slide this back over here. You can click on the URL right here, which is a lot of times what you'll see I do, and I post it into my own email. So you would just hit your Control-C for copying it once you've highlighted it. And yes, you can do it this way, but we're gonna do that as another step in a second. And then personally, I would go to my email, I'd hit compose, and whoops, just kidding. I'd hit compose, and then I would just type my email here. So blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go down here to this link where it says insert link, and I'll say, click to join Zoom. I'm going to click here and hit Control V. And so now when my person clicks on that link, I mean, obviously in my email, I would have put more information as far as, hey, I'm inviting you to join me at this Zoom link to learn about this or to talk about that on Friday, the blah, blah, blah. And when they click here, that's going to take them to that link and they'll be able to join the meeting. And then I would just hit send.
And just make sure if you do this version of it, that you include that password if you have chosen a password. Because
Correct.
if you just click on the link, they won't know what the password is. It'll bring them to the correct page, but then it'll ask for that password and they won't know it. So just make sure if you do it that way that you do include the password somewhere in that email.
And that is what happened with yoga today, because you had to put the password in once. So I knew it. I don't know if anybody else knew it.
Got it. Okay. So is there going to be a password each week that we should be sending out, or is it the same password each week?
It's always the same. It's the Burnsville zip
Yeah.
code 55306.
And it's on the calendar and it's on the landing page. The password's on there.
So we'll just make sure everybody remembers that. We'll, for a couple
Okay.
of weeks, couple times that we do it, we'll just send out a reminder that morning, like don't forget to enter the password or something until people get more in the habit of it. That's a good idea. So yes, that's one way you can do it. And again, I don't personally use the passwords. I figured if somebody breaks in, I'll just be like, ooh, that was a good laugh. We'll hang up on that one now. Or your other option is you can just hit copy the invitation. And basically you're doing the same things you do with your Google invite. You're just copying it from here. You hit copy meeting invitation. It's copied to your clipboard. So now you can take it wherever you want. You could go in and put it on your calendar now this way. You could go in and just attach this to an email, and all you'll do is you'll either open your calendar, open your email, click in the body, and again, hit Control V, and it will pop into there just the way it did before. So you can do it kind of one of those three ways and then send it. So those are three different ways to set up your meeting, to get it started and get it going. Once you do that, so we've got our whole meeting set, and now a couple days go by and it's time for my meeting, and you're kind of, well, okay, now I got to go back in. That's right. What time's that meeting? Where's that link? So if this is for yourself to get the meeting started, once you log in, you kind of always come to this screen. You can again go to your meetings, and you can go here and you'll find, okay, that one, I know it's on Friday. Okay, at 1 o'clock, there's my Zoom check-in. So you're gonna go there, brings you back. And now it's time for me to start the meeting. I'm gonna click right here to start this meeting.
And if you ever edit anything at a later date, so say, oh, I want to add a description in there, or add something else, or change the meeting options, you can still do that, and it will not change the meeting ID or password that you have already sent to your clients or your team or any of that. You don't have to resend it to them. You can still make edits to it.
Any questions on that part so far? So, I mean, truthfully, now and even in the future, in my eyes, you know, I had done Zoom a couple of times with regional things prior to this. I love it now. I mean, I will use it for exactly that. You know, if I need to do check-ins with Lauren and Jody on something, or I'll use it now going forward because I'm doing weekly coaching with MCAs now. So I'll do that with them through Zoom because this is awesome way of doing things. So I would say, you know, definitely get in the habit of using it with your teams, with your clients on certain things. You know, it's a great way to do, and we're going to kind of, based on what we had the discussion yesterday with Jean and knowing that we're not all where we should be, that's kind of why we know this was a last minute add to the calendar, but that's kind of why we're doing that, is like today we want to go over kind of this part on getting your own Zoom account, setting it up, the benefits of having it, how to use it, kind of what are your questions. Shannon's going to jump in and tell us a little bit about like virtual open houses because she's looking to do one this weekend. Then we've got some links to some that have already been done that we're going to give you. And then we're kind of going to just the next couple days into probably about Wednesday of next week, just run into different things that I think are really going to be utilized as we kind of go into the future. And one of them is doing a listing presentation, doing a buyer's consultation. You can do those right through Zoom with that. So these are perfect examples of where, I'm sharing my screen with you. And so for instance, what I did was when the Zoom started and we were talking, I was able to go in and at the bottom, click, and I'm wondering if I do this right now. So can you guys see down here, do you see this part, the black thing that's popping up? Or is that only on my screen that I see that?
No.
Nope, we see it.
Okay.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Yep.
Down here it says.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. So this is where I went, is I kind of just took my arrow down to the bottom of my screen.
Oh,
And-
wait, hold on.
Is it disappearing?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't.
No, we don't see the actual Zoom. How do I put this? The Zoom,
Like the keyboard, like the
yeah,
choices.
the add-ons.
Okay.
But everyone can see their own.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, so if you take your mouse and go down towards the bottom of your screen, once you get going into it, you should see the choices and you're scrolling or hovering down there to do share screen. And so that's going to allow you to do what we're doing, where your pictures are going to fall off to the side instead of being full big pictures, and then have your screen. So you could pull up your listing contract, or if you've sent it over, say, an Authenticign, you can pull that up while you're with them and show them and just walk through that as you would. Or if you have something that you do in Command as far as your listing presentation and you want to show them that, you can have it saved on your computer and run through it and do that same thing as you're going over that with them. And they'll still be there in a picture off to the side, but you'll have complete access right here to the documents that you want them to see.
Yep.
Any question on that?
Nope, that was my question, so that's perfect.
Okay, awesome. And then like for me, you guys probably don't see it right now, but because I'm sharing, I do have the option to go down and it'll say stop share once I've been sharing. So let's just say I'm done at that point and I want to go back to just you and I on the screen, so we're not looking at anything else and we're focusing on this conversation. So I can go back down and hit stop share. So then that would stop it again. And then if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you know what? I probably should have shown you something else. Hold on. I can go back down and do that.
Okay.
So that's kind of your basics on that part of it. Now, as far as we talked about, depending on where you're at, let's just say you've got the flu and you don't want everybody to know that you're sitting in bed and you're doing your conversation with them. So it's like, well, how do I change my background? Because I really don't want people seeing that. Part of it's going to be what you have downloaded on your computer is partially where the options are going to come. I will send you when we're done, either myself or Lauren will send you, if we have not already, we've got a folder or file that came from KW that has all the different backgrounds that are offered right now by KW, as well as you can do some of your own. So I'm going to pop out of stop share for 2 seconds.
I'll show
And
you
then I
one
can
of
just
the
see that.
options.
And then when she does that, I'll show you where we're going to go for that. Okay.
So this is one of them.
So that's like one of the ones that KW shared with us. And there's actually quite a few more that are really kind of fun. What you'll
There's
do
one
for right
office
now
ones, yeah.
to see if anybody's got one, because you may have something in your computer you can share right now. So you're looking at your screen kind of as I call it the Brady Bunch screen. Go down to the bottom of your screen again where you have like the board that runs across. It should say mute, stop video, and so forth. Next to your stop video or start video if you're not on video, you'll see like what do you always call it, Lauren?
Carrot.
A carrot? Okay. I'm not sure why it's a carrot. I call it an arrow up, but you can call it a carrot. So click on your carrot next to your stop video, and you can each do this right now while we're talking. Go to your carrot, and when you do that, you should get a couple choices that say video settings or choose virtual background. Go on and choose your virtual background. And it's just going to show you right now if you have anything there. It may say nothing there. And if that's the case, what you can do is you can go in and you can download backgrounds by hitting where it says choose virtual background. You should see a little plus sign, and it'll say add image or video. So you could add something. So for instance, this is one of mine. This is my son climbing a mountain. So, I mean, you can put anything you want, and it's super quick and easy. And you can do it before your call as well, so that you can put it on there. I'm going to go back in. I mean, you can have any background you want. Oh, there's Angela. So did everybody see that when I said like where to go in to find that? Did anybody have a heart not find that?
I'm not finding it.
No, definitely found it.
Okay, who said I can't find it?
Connie.
I
You did not.
find it.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay.
I did.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, so like the ones that Lauren and I have, well, not now, it's not one of the KW ones, but you can add anything. So
I'll do the KW one.
once we send you the folder, it's a zip file, and those will go, once you download it, they'll go into your photos or your downloads. So that's how you'll be able to pull that in. But right now, if you want, everybody could go and click on the plus and it'll take you to your photos, pick something you want, and it's going to quickly download it, and just set it as your background just to try it and just see that it works.
Connie, did you say you can't get that?
Oh, Connie she found
Uh,
something.
Yeah, I
Oh, but
found something.
But you don't want to, you shouldn't have to share your screen.
Okay, well, then I
You should
didn't
just-
do it right, so.
So
I
go
clicked
back
on the little
in.
green thing.
Nope.
Nope, we don't want the green thing.
Oh, there's Bob and Diane and
What do I
Stillwater. So over where
Where
it
it
says,
says-
when you hover when you go to the
Go ahead.
bottom, it should say start or stop video, and then next to it is a little arrow up, or a carrot, if you will.
I have a square box with a green arrow going up.
Nope, so you're gonna go all the way to the left.
Yep. You're looking just at the middle. Go all the way to the left where it says mute and then stop or share video.
Yep, so I have mute, start,
Yep.
video, or stop. Then I have another button that's the green, it's a box with an arrow going up. I don't have anything in between.
Nope. Nope. Right next to, so you just said you have the start video. Right next to start video
Yep.
you should be able to click, don't click on start video, but right next to it, there should be another little arrow. When I say
Nope.
arrow, I don't mean arrow like what you see in start screen. I mean like the little mountain or little, like,
Yes.
thank you. Like it just looks like this, right next to start video. And then when you hover on it, it'll pop up a box that will say video settings, choose virtual background.
No, you know what, I'm on my phone, so maybe that's
Oh,
why.
That could be why.
That
Yeah,
could be.
you want to
Yeah.
be on your
Yeah.
computer for that.
Yeah,
So-
so when I get home, I'll get on the computer.
Perfect.
I'll
Okay,
give it a
so yeah,
try.
Shannon, I see Shannon got hers. Molly, nice. Diane,
Yeah.
see now look at, this is one of those, Diane, where we can't really
How come I look like
see
a
it.
ghost?
Because
I
it's that
know,
whole
what's with
green
that?
screen thing. So
It
certain
Oh.
backgrounds.
Could be your computer, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of the background, the green screen thing. Kind of remember when I was talking about
Oh,
like the other
yeah.
day when I said I don't have hair, you can't see my water bottle. Certain things will blend in with your background.
Got it.
So like as Molly moves, you can see how she kind of like clips in and out a little bit.
So
How do
like
I
this
get
is my water
myself
bottle.
back in it?
Oh, what?
How do I get myself back in there?
Go.
You're not talking, Carrie.
I didn't hear that at all.
There you go.
Hold on.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, instead of start video, instead of stop video, click on, it should say start video.
It just says stop video. Like I hit start.
Go.
It's because remember, Shannon,
Oh, there.
there we
I
go.
got it.
Yep.
Why do I look weird?
You look like a ghost.
So this is why it's highly recommended to use the backgrounds that are supplied for you, but you can definitely do like Shannon and
That's
just
what I
choose-
did. I
No.
put one of the ones that was on there.
I don't think it worked
Yeah, interesting.
because what we see is your house.
We
You
see the
can't see
back.
me. I can see my ghostly self.
Yeah, we see your face, which has like the
Yeah.
trees. You have the
Got
trees
some
in your
trees
face.
in it.
Yeah. How do I fix it? Okay.
I'm
I'll
out.
figure it out.
Okay. So I would say, again, a great thing to play with. Just go and play with your different backgrounds, and we will send everybody the email that has the links in there. Now, keep in mind, the first time I got that email, I called Lauren and said, well, this stinks. I don't get any of these backgrounds. They won't open for me. It comes in a folder that will say either Mac or PC. I was trying to get into the Mac one, but I'm on a PC. So just make sure that you're clicking in the right one, and then you have to download them. But I was clicking in the Mac one, so when I clicked, nothing would open or download, and I was like, well, this is stupid. They gave us something that doesn't even work. Well, no, that would be operator error because it did work really well. And then you get backgrounds, like I said, like the one I'm using right now. That's one of the KW ones that they send out. So there's a lot of fun ones that you can use just to have. Any questions on that?
No, that's good.
Awesome. I'm trying to think what else on just the basic parts of this. I'm gonna go out here. Let's see. Any questions just right now as far as like where we're at, what we've done, what you can do? A lot of times you'll see, so for instance, if you hover over the bottom, and again, I apologize, I'm in the paid one, but I think you still have the ability, you'll see there's a chat at the bottom. So if you wanted to have people making comments, you should have reactions. So you could do like a clapping, or you can do a thumbs up. So you're like sending them and you're putting it up. So if you see the thumbs up, I clicked on that up here. So I'm, if somebody says, you're doing it with your team and you have them muted, but you're saying, okay, guys, does everybody agree we can get that done by this date? And everyone's like, yep, sure can. Diane's clapping, so she's got that. Perfect. I'm gonna go over here. What is don't need that. You can, under your more buttons, you can do live on YouTube, live on Workplace by Facebook, live on Facebook. So if you did want to go live on your Facebook as you're doing something, maybe it's you and one of your team members doing a great thing could be right now is tell me what you're doing during the COVID-19. How are you, managing staying at home with your kids? And so you guys are doing something kind of back and forth, but you want to make it something informational and useful to your clients. Maybe it's something you want to pop on your Facebook page. You could do that situation. Same with for your live on YouTube. And that is one of the things that we're going to talk about here. I think it's on, I'm going to say Friday, is doing your having your Facebook, doing your own YouTube channel and having that. Right now, we have one for the Market Center. We're kind of going to play with it here a little bit the next couple days to get all the tweaks that we can, so then we can share that with you guys if you're not already doing or don't already have that. So that'll happen on Fridays, because it doesn't look like we were trying to get a different speaker for Friday, but it doesn't look like that's going to work on kind of what we're doing. So we will go over that then. What else? You can, again, mute. You've got the ability over where the mute is to mute yourself. If you hit the little arrow going up, you have where you can do, you can mute other people on the conference. If you go up to the top, you can hit mute my audio, whoopsie. Mute my audio, pin video. You can do, so if you look inside your square, you should have the ability to do different things. You've probably heard Brian or I comment sometimes where we've got you on mute and we just say hit your space bar if you want to talk. So that's always an option too if you do have somebody muted, or if it's yourself and you're muted, you can mute yourself. And then if I just hold my space bar down, it'll unmute me. Did that work for everybody if you want to do that?
What I found for you.
Yep.
That worked.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So that's kind of the basics on setting up a Zoom account. Personally, I get that like Google Hangouts is out there as well. I like the Zoom. I got to be honest. I'm super, I mean, you know, if I can find a positive in all that we've done having to be at home, it's going to be having forced more to use the Zoom. I like it. Both personal and professional uses. It's been very helpful and very good. So I would just recommend playing with it. You know, if there's two of you in the house, you can do it that way. You can kind of practice it, doing it back together before you do it with a client or with your team. Otherwise, you know, like with your teams, just give it a shot. I'm sure if you're doing it with a client, it might be their, you know, possibly their first or second time, and maybe they don't have all the ins and outs of it. So I would say, you know, everybody was uncomfortable with it at the beginning, and I'd say 90% of the people out there probably were uncomfortable at the beginning of this. So I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, or he's, you know, totally got that. Nope. I would just give it a shot and use it and do it. Freezing. Any
Sounds good.
questions? All right. I know we've got a few minutes really quick. Shannon, I apologize. I was going to try and give you a little bit more time. I know Shannon's going to be doing a virtual open house this weekend, so we would love to have you give us a little information on it.
I don't really, well, I haven't done it yet, so, you know, feel forward. I researched since like last Thursday, so I spent a lot of hours. I've used Pivot. Pivot is a really good resource, the site. There's a lot of people, there's a specific video that I thought was really helpful. It's like 40 minutes long. But I researched what everybody's done the last 3 weeks here and what's worked and not worked. So what I'm going to do, and Diane has set up, is we are going to record a video inside the seller's home. I'm choosing this option because I can reuse the video later. So I created a live Facebook event through my business page. And then and I didn't put, I've researched, my husband's like, you can't go anywhere on it. There's nothing to see. I'm like, well, that's kind of the point. I don't want all the pictures of the house on the event, because then people are just going to stroll through all the pictures and maybe, you know, most likely not necessarily come to the live event. So I just put one picture on there for now, created a live event. I'll take the video when it goes live, and I'll put the video on my Facebook page. I'll be live. I'll create a Facebook watch party, which if you want more information on, it's business oriented. It's a 10-minute video that I can send you as well. But you can't do a watch party until you add a video on there. So once the video is posted live, then when you're live, you can hit watch party. It'll come up on your business page and you can hit watch party. So I'm going to do it that way. I'll be live. It'll be like a 6-8 minute video. People can see a tour of the house, the garage, the outside, and then they can come in and out and ask me questions while I'm live. And then say the house doesn't sell in a week, I can take that same video and create another virtual open house with it. I'll just schedule another time. We're not going into the seller's home again in the pandemic. We're not interrupting them. We're just literally taking the same video and just creating another open house. So the research I've done, some of these women, like I would watch the videos on Facebook, have had thousands of people come to these virtual open houses. So I've already had about 1,500 likes just on the event that I created. And I'm gonna create I just did a video through Afio. I just learned how to do it though, so I haven't posted it yet, but I'm gonna post the video as a Facebook ad with my event link on there on the live virtual open house, and just kind of see what happens. So I'm gonna feel forward. If it doesn't work, I'll try a different technique and just kind of tweak it. But I just think this, you know, as a buyer's agent, it's really hard right now to have buyers that are not nervous or, you know, with the unknown, people are still listing, but the buyer side is definitely slowing down. So I'm looking for ways to really interact with a different group of people other than just my sphere and my farm to attract those people that are out there that are actually still looking and wondering what's going on and just still build that business, you know, for when this is over.
Awesome. I love it. I think that's so great that you're going to jump in and do that. I do think, I will say that's one of the things that after this call that is going to, you know, like I said, we'll send you out the backgrounds, but one of the things we're going to send, in case you haven't been there or gone, we will send again a link that'll take you to the pivot page that Shannon was talking about. That page is phenomenal. The information that is on there is, it's just awesome. There's so much there as far as even just with our Connect, but that pivot page is great. And that will then also have the link for, I'm assuming it's probably the same one that Shannon's referring to that you said you watched, but it's kind of a pivot virtual open house that someone posted on there as kind of an instructional, you know, trying to say. We'll post that as well to you guys when we send out that email. So you'll get an email that's going to have a lot of kind of what we went over today, links, downloads, things like that. I'm super excited. So I want to see I plan to watch.
Me too. I
live.
think this is going to be like a huge thing after this is even over. I want to master it, and it's just really what I want to focus. I'm like really excited about it. And then when you watch that video, make sure to actually, there's 3 different women on there that use 3 different ways to do it. Make sure to actually watch their videos to think outside the box, to be like, okay, I can see why they did that or why that didn't work. And so they were also interested in what each other was doing and what's worked and not worked, because it's so new for everybody. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
And the other thing is on the MLS now, they have a virtual link. So when you go to your open house to schedule it, you can put that link in there so that other people that are looking at the open house have a way to get to the virtual open house.
Right. And I mean, think of how, I mean, that really will be, I do agree that I think as we move into the future and even as we get back to, you know, being outside of our homes, it's going to be more of a way of the future. I mean, people with family and kids that they want open houses, but they don't want to open up their house every Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon because they know prime time is nap time, you know? Another one that I did just see that I thought was great was where they had the seller themselves do a home tour with their phone and talk about, because it was kind of a different home, and talk about what it was. So as they were going through and they got to kind of a quirky area, why that was so important to them, what they loved about that room or that, you know, specific thing, as well as going out into the neighborhood a little bit and talking about, you know, we have a great neighborhood. I mean, when I look down the street, I think of all the people that have kids, you know, in our age range, or, you know, just saying we have parks. Literally, if you just walk down to this street where you see this, you can see there's a park right back there, and we can go, you know, 5 more minutes we can walk and we can go have Mexican for dinner or whatever. You know, sharing things like that was important to them when they moved into that house. So,
For sure.
Make sure if you are going to do this, I posted the rules.
Can't hear you, Shannon.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules that you have to follow in regards to, you know, promoting your business.
You guys hear?
You're muffled.
So make sure.
We can't hear you, Shannon.
Oh, now
There
there you
you
go,
are.
now you can.
Yep.
No, just make sure you pay attention to the rules and the guidelines so you're not getting any fines over it.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Good idea.
But yeah, I think I'm really proud of you, Shannon. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I'm glad that
It'll
you
be
guys
fun.
joined us today. I know, like I said, I know it was kind of last minute impromptu, but based off of Jean's thing yesterday, and then, you know, kind of talking with you, Diane, I just think, and it looks like, you know, hopefully this has been helpful for everybody.
Very helpful. Mhm.
And like I said, again, they're kind of last minute, but we agree that to wait for another week or the end of the month is just too far away right now. We need to get this stuff out to the people so that people who aren't using it can, and there's probably a lot more that could utilize it. So this will go into our landing page as one of the recorded events. So that'll be there for anybody that wants to go back, or if you have another agent who reaches out and says, I know you did that, or have you heard anything? Send them to go in and watch so they can learn the Zoom and how to do it. And then we will kind of keep sending you stuff, including that link that's going to come out on the video that Shannon was just talking about, the one that downloads for the background, and then we'll be all set.
And
Any
then
questions?
I don't remember. Okay, so sorry, I was on the phone with Darren. So I don't know if you already mentioned this, Carrie. but tomorrow at 12:30, that video.
Yes, go ahead and mention that one. Thank you.
So tomorrow at 12:30, it is on the calendar. But it was a KW Connect video that happened last week. And it was the one, Shannon, you were referring to about the host a virtual listing presentation. And now it is on there. So on the calendar and on the landing page, tomorrow at 12:30, I added the link to that video. And it's an hour long, but you can watch it whenever you want. You can go to that link whenever you want to watch that video, but it's also another helpful tool. It's with Jason Abrams. He was moderating between a few other agents and how they are doing virtual listing presentations. So that's another.
Yeah. And so we decided it'd be kind of good to have, I mean, we'll have him kind of, you guys, anybody, like she said, you can go on and do it anytime, but it was kind of with him kind of joining us tomorrow, and he will be live actually with us for the event that we're doing with him in the afternoon. So definitely jump on to hear that 30 minutes with him in the afternoon.
That's at 3 tomorrow.
Yep, we're super fortunate to get him. He was just, yeah, this will be good. But any other ones that you think of too, just shoot an email to Lauren or myself or both of us as we kind of move through this, like who has done it or what we haven't done. Because we just don't know where everybody's at, and we want to help everybody. We can do them in groups. We'll do them one-on-one. You just let us know, and we'll do whatever you're comfortable with. We'll get it out there and get you guys doing it, because we want everybody to be using it and finding success with it.
Yeah, it's really awesome if
appreciate it.
you find something that works for you, that you found super helpful, a video, a training video, whatever it was. Please send that to us, because that's awesome, because we only see what we see, and sometimes it's not, you know, certain aspects or certain circles that you guys might discover things in. So it's awesome to have it from everyone to be able to show different videos and training. So
Yep, definitely.
Oh, one more thing. In those videos, it says to have the seller post on their neighborhood group. Well, this listing is in Rosemount, and I found the Rosemount neighborhood group, which is almost 4,300 people. And I posted the event, and I haven't gotten kicked out yet. So, and I think it's because it's a Rosemount listing, but I've had so many likes just on that page alone, and that's 4,300 extra people. So make sure you have your seller get involved too, to post in things that aren't necessarily available to you.
Love it. Good idea. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we will head off. If anybody needs anything, just let us know. Does anybody have any questions real quick before we end? Good deal. Well, good luck, everybody. Again, if you're getting into downloading your account and getting your first one set up, reach out if you run into any hurdles, because we'll help you walk through it.
Yep.
Good.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.